You're swinging. It can happen.
Oh, my goodness.
50,000.
2 aces under the gun for Perkins.
When you're hot, you're hot.
May have come back.
Life is good in the world of Bill Perkins right now, yesterday, tomorrow, the day before, pretty much always, but especially right now.
Opens to 50,000.
1.5 on the turn.
Has 3.3 million.
He'd love to get some action here. It's folded around to the big blind. Chinwei Lim with 6-7 offsuit. Again, not a great hand, but in the big blind, you're priced in to see a lot more flops, and that's what he does here.
2 3s and an 8, a total swing and a miss for Lim.
Well, you know, this is a spot where Perkins could check back, let his opponent catch up a little bit, but he elects to bet. Wow. So here you see Chinwei Lim being real tricky and sneaky. He's got a plan where he thinks he might be able to bluff this hand on a later street.
Board double pairs on the turn.
Yeah, bad spot for Perky, right? Because he called the flop. He might have called with an 8 or a 3. Check, check, turn.
Yeah, Bill playing pot control. Backdoor clubs now show up.
So the end part of this plan for Chinwei Lim when he calls his flop was hoping it goes check, check so he can bet this river with size and get Bill Perkins to fold something like ace high or even an overpair possibly.
And this texture is incredibly problematic for the 2 aces because the board's so dry on the flop, the check call certainly feels like it could be a 3 or an 8.
Well, the thing is right now you only beat a hand that was floating, if you will, specifically to do this. A random 2 cards. Any other hand that, you know, makes sense here, Chinwei Lim is going to beat aces.
Okay, fold.
Unless he had like 6s or 7s possibly, but wow.
Maybe ace 5.
It worked. Man, I bet you if he knew Bill had aces, he probably wouldn't have tried that play, but wow.
In Monte Carlo and Montenegro on the same day.
Literally the same day.
Randy, I had to leave commentary to catch my flight to come here.
I saw a photo of you just laying on the
I have had
airport lounge.
0 sleep other than me sleeping on that bench in an airport.
Let's get straight back to the action. So Linus has got aces.
Linus Loeliger. That's what I'm going with until
Loeliger?
someone corrects me.
Well, he's also known as Linus Love Online.
Linus Love, okay.
One of the best online players. Some people think he's the best, so I might just say Linus Love.
Good to know. Pocket aces for Linus. Igor with bottom pair and a gut shot.
Yeah, he just played it slow. He checked as the pre-flop raiser.
Or is it Igor? 2 pair now for Igor.
So it's a pretty tricky spot because you hit 2 pair, but then you got like that 4 straight board. So he's going to play it slow.
And a 10 on the river.
That's a bad card for both players. Now Linus is hoping to just get this to showdown. Kurganov sees the weakness. He might be tempted to bet if he thinks his opponent would slow play a hand like jacks, queens, kings, and aces. Otherwise, he might consider a check because he might feel his opponent will only call him better.
Why is the 10 a bad card for both players?
Well, there's a 9. A 9 or a 5 makes a very obvious straight there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a 2 4-card straight board now.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. He's going to bet for value. 5,000. Quick
Igor
call.
bets and gets called, so neither player too scared of any straights being out there.
I would show those aces. Look, try
Every time. I had aces, just so everyone knows. Please feel bad for me.
Aces are sticky of late, and it is Petrangelo's turn.
Oh no, Nicky P. This might be a little too weak for Fedor here. Let's see what he does.
20K for a shot at 90.
I mean, yeah, but he doesn't have very much behind. He's going to go for it. This is...
It's 250 in white.
Most likely he gets into
15
trouble,
back.
and then once in a while he probably doubles through Nick. Oh, that's exactly what I was saying. Most likely he gets into trouble. If somehow he can beat aces, he's doubling up.
8 high rainbow board, giving Holz middle pair as he checks it over to Nicky P with a buck 10 in the middle.
Nick with a hand you could check back here, actually. I'm not saying you should for sure, but aces is one of those hands on these kind of boards where, because there's no overcards, doing on various turns. There could be some turns he leads. Let's take his time, think this one out. Oh, wow. Sorry, Nick. You're doubling up Fedor.
Fours on the turn for Fedor Holz. A disaster for Nick Petrangelo's pocket aces. The only silver lining that he has, Holz covered.
So as I said, there would be some turn cards Fedor led, and this was one of them. And you know, obviously Nick is aware that Fedor can have fours. Fedor's aware that he can have fours. He does actually have a four. He has the four advantages, the big blind, but 2 aces is just a lot of hand at this point. Fedor could even be doing this for value with an 8 protection value, merge as a deuce, and obviously some no pair hands. 5, 6, etc. But I mean, I can't even see Petrangelo not really snap calling. Yeah.
Holz moves all in for 210K. Petrangelo does make the call quickly and also issues payment quickly.
Alright, and Key has top pair, but Katz with the aces. He's gonna feel pretty decent about his hand. He has running clubs. He got checked too, and the 10 is definitely capable of making some interesting draws on the turn. A really strong hand to have.
Pocket aces. Yeah, Kenneth Key here, you got top pair. It's hard to fold, so you can't blame him for the call here. River card is a queen. Board's getting a little bit dicey. But, I mean, if you got pocket aces and heads up, just got a value bet here, even if your opponent has king, queen, you're ahead.
He does. Key has an interesting blocker. He blocks the straight, he blocks flushes with the 10, and he has a top pair hand, so he blocks a lot of important full houses. This is a pretty tough situation for him. He's getting a pretty good price. He's getting 3-1 on his money. That means he only has to be right 1 out of 4 times to break even.
So some things Kenneth Key probably think about is, would Kerry Katz bet a hand like king 10 and king jack himself?
Wow!
I was going to check raise.
Oh
now,
my god.
This is a bluff.
Yeah, this is a bluff. This is incredible. This is the mark of a good player. Where you think like, oh, should I call, should I fold?
Wow, he's gonna lay it down.
What
The
a
pocket
move.
aces. Didn't even think about it.
What a move.
Yeah.
Hands other than aces.
I think I remember somewhere along the line him getting involved with less than aces. Not so far here today.
He has a very aggressive reputation, which is why that first laydown from Sam Greenwood was so incredible. Against a player like Nick Petrangelo, you pick up 2 queens, which is an overpair, you're usually going to get it in.
And you get a look now at Mikita Badziakuski with king 10 of hearts up against Jungle Man Dan Cates, who's got the better hearts. Open to 10K out of Mikita, known as Bads.
Yeah, Jungle Man looks comfortable.
Why wouldn't you? You got 2 elbows in the traps, plenty of pressure. Oh, come
This
on.
is crazy. Do pros just get aces more often than the non-pros? Because I didn't see this happen at their table. So obviously going to re-raise with the aces here from the button.
3-betting to 41,000.
Makita could go a few ways here. You know, the re-raise is coming from the button. You are against an accomplished player like Vogelsang. The price is relatively cheap, 30,000. You're playing deep. You have a hand that plays pretty well post-flop. I don't hate the call here.
And the opportunity to close the action for Katz, but is this ace-6 suited worthy of another 31?
I think ace-6 suited plays a lot worse than king-10 suited in this kind of situation. He just says, forget it, I don't want to deal with these two.
So down to heads up, and the flush draw shows up right away for Makita, who checks it over to Vogel.
Wow, interesting check back there with aces. Setting a little bit of a trap, also pot control, keeping the pot small.
Not impossible for Bads to have binked a jack on the flop, and by checking back, Vogel prevents the big check raise and dilemmas moving forward. Now a queen on the turn, and Bads with the open-ender and the flush draw, semi-bluffing 72K.
Oh, this is a very big hand. Obviously, flopping a flush draw is a big deal, but now the open-ended straight draw as well. You've also got an opponent who didn't bet the flop. You know, he could have been on a steal with something, you know, weak like ace-3 suited. It's a good opportunity to bet here. You know, you're going to call the bet anyway. You might as well take the lead and maybe win the pot if he folds. Wow, there it is, the straight.
Bingo, 9 of clubs, giving Bads the king-high straight in an almost $250,000 chip pot here.
Well, about 250,000 in the middle. You might worry a little bit about clubs. There's obviously full houses possible. But if you're Makita, you got to like your hand and want value on this river. Question is, what's the bet size? And he bets 280.
Over-betting the pot, and when players do that, Daniel, obviously there's some polarity, and you begin to wonder, is my man bluffing or does he have it? Because there's not a lot in between.
Yeah, but then, you know, you got aces, you got an overpair, the hearts missed, a lot of other hands could have missed. Pretty difficult to fold aces, you know, getting a price that you are, which is about 2 to 1. You'd have to really know your opponent, know his range in this situation, the types of hands he would call a 3-bet, you know, bet the turn and then fire big on the river. So I think Christoph's, wow, this is amazing.
Above the rim stuff.
We are seeing some high-level poker early on here at this pro table. You know, this is not easy to do here, to fold aces. Incredible laydown.